You started making films in the 2010s when it was impossible to have films such as Sinner in the Oscar talk. Since then, we have had Get Out, Mad Max Fury Road, and films like yours. Are you surprised by the chance of being in the conversation, taking part in this?
I mean, yeah, all, but it's not due to the genre that I'm surprised. Like, I think more so, the movie was such a unique experience for me. I've had experience with films that wound up in award season conversations that are like more unconventional, and then I've had it with I guess each time with my movies it was unconventional. You know what I mean? Like Fruitvale was my first movie, and we were fortunate enough to wind up at some year-end conversations. And then with Creed, it was a boxing, Rocky movie. And the first Rocky movie won
Best Picture.
It won Best Picture in the '70s, but then the ones after that became considered more populist. So what you learn is it's usually like about how the audience views the movie. Like it's not totally in the director's control. What ends up happening with the film at the end of the year. But with this one, we were so focused on like making sure people had a good time at the theater. And making something that was touching, but also an enjoyable experience. The year-end consideration hadn't crossed my mind, but I do feel like extremely honored, to be included, and I know that all of my collaborators are like top of their class, like top of their class actors and crafts people, my producers. So when I think about it too hard, it's not surprising, having seen the work that they were putting out every day, but also like it was kind of the furthest thing from our mind when we were, when we were making it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. You have always talked about blackness in your films in a way or another, and you do it once again here in Sinners. I love the scene, the musical scene that talks about the past and the future of black music. Was it a tough sell, for example, with the studio, maybe with your collaborators as well?
Honestly, no. Like everybody who read it was excited about it. It was in the script from the start. People were always like. People always paid attention to it. It was always a topic of discussion, but it was never like people were afraid of it. It was more curiosity, like how are we gonna get this done? What's gonna be our filmmaking techniques? What will the ancestors look like? Will they be heavily affected through VFX, through makeup? Or are they gonna be treated naturally? So the scene did always have a lot of attention on it, and whenever we would test a movie, as you do with a release, you do test screenings with audiences. Audiences would hone in on that scene. People would have a very visceral reaction to it. Sometimes positive, sometimes negative. But what we found, even with the people who reacted negatively to it, they were talking passionately about it. You know what I mean? And that gave us the courage that we needed to keep going forward.
Mm-hmm. You have done 6 films. The 6 of them had Michael B. Jordan in it.
Just 5. Yeah.
Two Black Panthers. No, this is the 6th one. 2 Black Panthers. 2 Creed.
Just 1 Creed.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Creed 2 was directed by my friend Stephen Cable.
Oh, sorry.
And then Creed 3 was Michael B. Jordan.
Yep.
Yeah, so I did Fruitvale, 1 Creed, 2 Panthers, and now this.
All of them had Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah.
What does he mean for you, like a creative partner? Because
he's. I mean, first and foremost, I'm my altruism, like personally, it don't extend to my business. You know what I mean? So like he's my friend. I care about him a lot, but he's an exceptional actor. And that's why I continue to work with him. He's one of the performers in the world, and he's relatively young, but extremely experienced. He's been doing it since he was a kid, and the most interesting thing about Mike is, he makes really difficult things look easy. He's always looking for the next challenge, and he and I have developed a great working shorthand, that I think establishes a really good tone, both for the audiences, but also like on set, so as long as I'm working, Mike will have a job.
I was wondering how you leave the response to the way that media was talking about the box office of the film, because many outlets were celebrating it because it's really good for original film, but at the same time, for example, Variety was kind of cautious about the way that it discussed the box office of the film. How do you live with that, with the way the films are discussed?
I mean, yeah, like a part of being a professional, like you work in a business where things are covered, and it's not always covered the way that you would like, but you don't have any control over that. And how I look at it is I try to control what I can control. We tried to make the best movie that we could. We tried to get out there and market it to the audiences as best we could. And at the end of the day, it's always up to the audience. A lot of the trade publications, they are read by people in the industry. But we were making that movie for the general people just trying to go see a good movie. You know what I mean? People who working 9 to 5s, raising their kids, and they go out on a weekend to be lost in a film for a couple hours. So I try to maintain that perspective, and understand that when you work as a professional in entertainment, and I've been doing it for some time now, you're gonna have coverage that might be skewed in a way that you don't like, but it is what it is. And fortunately for us, audiences came out and continued to see the film.
We were talking about Michael B. Jordan, but another star of the film is Miles Catton, who had never done a film before.
Yeah.
What did you see in him that you say this is him?
Yeah, just the script called for a generational talent. Like that was a part of the story. This character Sammy, having skills that are so profound that he can tear a hole in space time essentially, and summon spirits from the other side of the veil between life and death, and also motivate the antagonist of the film, a vampire, to go through a lot to try to acquire him and his talents. So it was very clear to us that we needed an exceptionally talented performer, and we were able to hire Francine Maisler, who's our casting director. I worked with her on the first Creed film, and she's known in the industry for her skill at discoveries, finding actors that are ready to step into the moment. And Francine led a global search, and we found Miles through a self-tape. He was on tour with the artist Her, trying to finish high school. He's really extremely young. He's about the same age as the character, maybe younger. And yeah, man, his voice blew us away. And it turns out that he had been a working musician who came from a really prolific gospel music family out of New York, and he was just an exceptional singer. He was a trained pianist, but had to learn the guitar. That's where Ludwig Göransson, our composer, stepped in and helped him get training. But he blew us away on the tape. We sent a call back to him. He did excellent on that. We flew him out for a chemistry read with Michael B. Jordan and a chemistry workshopping with Ludwig, and from there we knew we had our Sammy.
It became a part of the news when it was published that you had become like an owner of your film as well. Was that something that was really important because of the themes that you were talking in Sinners, and is that something that you are trying to achieve again when you are doing an original film?
Yeah, I think that for me it was important in a few different ways. the film dealt with just a very personal story about, motivated by my relationship with my uncle who passed away in 2015. And I realized that over the last 12 plus years of making films professionally, me and my filmmaking team had built up a certain amount of leverage, and I see myself as a filmmaker kind of in concert with, with the community, with the industry, and what we were able to ask for was something that we knew was possible. You know what I mean? Other filmmakers had gotten similar deals, so we were kind of looking at those other things for motivation. And for me, it's a each project is a bespoke project. I'm gonna work on another Panther film, and I'm not looking for ownership on that because the characters are owned by Disney. It's a Marvel film, and so like when it makes sense possibly, but in this case, it just made sense for this movie.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Ryan. That's all the time I've got.
Oh, thank you,
Thank
bro.
you, and
Yeah, I
good
will
luck.
shake your hand, man.
Yeah.
Hope you get better soon.
Yes, I hope so.
It's
Yeah.
nice talking to you.
Thank you.